Welcome everybody at a look at the one of the latest Warner Brothers Archive Collection releases, and it is 1944's Passage to Marseille. So this is directed by Michael Curtis, who also I've seen 9 other films from, who did the likes of Casablanca, Mildred Pierce, Angels with Dirty Faces, The Breaking Point, and The Sea Wolf. So this is a war film clocking in at 109 minutes long, has a fantastic cast which includes the likes of Humphrey Bogart, who I've seen in 24 other films. Recent favourites from him being the likes of The Roaring Twenties, Angels with Dirty Faces, and Sabrina. Also stars Claude Rains, who I've seen in 9 other films, the likes of The Invisible Man, Casablanca, and The Wolfman. And finally, Peter Lorre, who was in the likes of, I've seen in 14 other films, so quite a lot from him. Recent favourites from him being the likes of Stranger on the Third Floor and Mad Love. So Jean Matric, or Matrac, is a World War II veteran French pilot who is a patriot who escapes Devil's Island, survives a dangerous freighter voyage, and becomes a gunner in the Free French Air Corps. So, although there were one too many narrated flashbacks in this for my liking, I'm fine with the initial flashback, but then to have flashbacks on top of that, it just gets a little bit too convoluted for my liking. And it doesn't quite live up to other films that involve those on camera and behind it, because obviously Peter Lorre, Claude Rains, and Humphrey Bogart all starred in Michael Curtis's film Casablanca, and they were all great in that film. It's a classic for a reason, and yeah, it doesn't quite manage to match that film. But that said, this is still an engrossing effort that has more than enough going for it to make it well worth the watch. The cast is great, it is well paced, the production is solid, the cinematography is on point, the character interactions are decent, and the aeroplane attack on the freighter is excellent, not just in terms of its production or the tension or the action in general, plus also the fact that the ship is getting quite torn apart, and it's really rather convincing that all of the bullet holes and explosions that take place on this freighter. But it's also because it comes to an extremely dark conclusion, showing that war can make even the most likable of heroes commit heinous acts. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into the way that it does conclude, because it's really, really rather quite shocking, and especially for a film from 1944, and even more so when you consider this was made during the events of World War II. So to end in the way that it does is not the patriotic hoorah, aren't we great over the Nazis and everything like that. It's actually a lot more nuance than that, I found. So yeah, and that's a really, really great way to end that whole attack scene, quite frankly, because it shows that both sides have their their evils, because war ultimately does bring out the evil and the worst in most people. So yeah, I like the cover that this has got going on, especially since it shows off the majority of the cast. But obviously, with this being a Warner Brothers Archive collection, there isn't really much else physically to look at. But there is plenty to go on the disc. So we've got a Warner Night at the Movies 1944 short subjects gallery, vintage newsreel, Oscar-winning patriotic short I Won't Play, Oscar-nominated musical short Jam in the Blues, classic cartoon The Weekly Reporter, and trailers of The Passage to Marseille, as well as 1944's Uncertain Glory, which looks like a really rather interesting film. I've added that to my watch list. We've also got a new featurette, The Free French Unsung Victors, and breakdowns of 1944, a studio blooper reel. So, yeah, quite a fair few extras on this disc. It makes a change from having one or two, or sometimes nothing at all. And yeah, the film itself looks pretty good on this new Blu-ray. Not sure if it's had any transfer work done to it or anything like that, but because yeah, it's hard to come across details with these Warner Brothers Archive collection releases, but still looks really rather good on the disc. No picture imperfections, no sound issues or anything like that. So all very good in that regard, and the film itself is fairly solid as well. I know I have my issues with it, but it's still a solid 3.5 out of 5 for me. And yeah, if I'm knowing what I'm getting in for, it might well go even further than that. So yeah, if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.